Master ASA is an accredited senior agent, that's the designation, but the Master is a proven realtor that is an ASA that is showing that they're actively working in the senior market. Well, choosing a Master ASA is going to give you the most options to deal with in a transition. No matter who you decide to work with, whether it's a lawyer, a doctor, another realtor, whatever you're dealing with, it's only the Master ASA that is affiliated with all different types of professionals. So that means that once you come with an ASA, you're getting your healthcare issues dealt with, you're getting your financial issues dealt with, and you're getting your real estate issues dealt with. So I became involved as a Master ASA because I recognized several years ago when I was having issues with my father. And I discovered there was a disconnect between families that needed care and caregivers or the healthcare system. And that disconnect put a question on my family personally, in that once my father passed away, what was I supposed to do with my mom? Do we sell the house? Do we keep a 4-bedroom home? Does she stay there? What do we do with all the stuff? Who calls the lawyers? Is there a will? Who's taking care of the health issues, her emotional aspect of things? There was nobody to help the family go through that transition. So the transition being, in this case, a loved one passing, the family being taken care of, and then in again, my case, the mother being taken care of, there was nobody to guide us with that. Sure, the hospital told us who could come in and help us, and the personal support workers, and we had all of that. But once everything quieted down, what were we to do? And that discovery of the ASA being available and me being in real estate, I discovered that I could do something about this. And I went forward and I became the first Master Accredited Senior Agent, and thrilled to be with the Masters. Definitely the client, which is typically a senior client, however you want to describe senior. But quite often we're also dealing with power of attorneys, and we're dealing with families. Outside of the direct family, we might be dealing with organizations that deal with seniors. So trying to be the hub or the go-to person for the families, that's who we serve. What's going to happen to all your treasures? Well, number one, they're all yours. Nobody's going to come in and just take them away, so they're still yours. What we will do is we're going to sit down with you and the family, and we're going to decide, number one, where your transition is taking place. So where are you going? Once we know where you're going, we'll know how much space we have to be able to bring your treasures with you, the ones that you want. Short of that, we can sell them. We have groups and organizations that we can call in to come and have a look. They may offer to purchase them. They may go out on consignment for sale later on. It may be donated, given to schools, charities, all depending on what the item is, we will try to find a good home for it. The only point that you will not be involved in is if you have a power of attorney that's immediate. So having you involved, you'll be involved from our first meeting till the time that we're no longer working together, which is well after your transition period. Being involved means I want to speak to your family, I want to speak to your power of attorneys if you have them, I want to speak to your caregivers, your children, your aunts, your uncles, whoever you feel is involved in your life, that's who I want to speak with. So the same way that the pricing of cars has gone up, the same way that your investments have gone up, the same way that the cost of living has gone up, times have changed. You probably purchased your home a decade ago, 2 decades, 3 decades ago. You're comfortable, it's your house. But right now, today's buyer is not looking for shag carpeting, or our older cabinets. So you can keep what you have, there's not an issue with that. But when it comes time to sell, we could get a higher value for your property if we're presenting it to today's buyers. Excellent question. I firmly believe that I would much rather have you know where we're going than to be concerned about what's happening now. So the sale of your property or the sale of your contents, we can always get that done. But getting you to your future transition, that's key. And there's a lot of factors that might come into play there, but that's going to be one of our first conversations that we have. The children are involved to a certain point of your transition. They are not looking at this through your eyes. They're looking at it through their eyes. So yes, you can hire an agent. Any agent come and sell your house. That's not an issue. The entire process of your transition needs to be guided, and the guiding through the masters is what we offer. So quite often, as I previously mentioned, you're going to have the children involved. We want to talk with the children. If they're insisting that they're going to use their own agent, that's okay too. We can do a referral program with that agent, still have you work with us, satisfy the other agent, satisfy the children, and then get you in a positive transition. Well, retirement residences are a great option. They truly are a great option. The thing that we need to be careful of with retirement residences is that although they all look the same and they all look fun, they're not the same. Each retirement home is offering a slightly different package. So going through an assessment for the transitioning couple or individual, we need to assess through them what your needs are. More importantly, what are your future needs going to be? Can the retirement home take care of you in the future? The last thing you want to do is get into a home, have something happen, and then have to move again. Would I put my parents through to a retirement home? Absolutely. For the right retirement home, for the right conditions, yes. It's not that they're wrong, they just may not have the updated information as to what the value of your home is. Everybody wants more money for what they have. Everybody looks at what they have as being the best, the bigger, that's just the way we are. The reality is the buyer willing to pay X amount of dollars for your property in the condition and the time period that we're selling it at? If it's not, you're not going to get the money, period. If you want to sell it for $1 million, let's sell it for $1 million. But we're not going to sell it, we're just going to list it. In which case you're wasting your time, I'm wasting my time, and you're going to prove to your friends and family that it wasn't worth that money. We're professional realtors. We do this each and every day. The assessment or the evaluation that we're giving you is based on facts. If your friends or family are telling you that your house is worth more than what we're saying, a simple way that we or I deal with that is for a fee, we can get a professional appraiser in. They will professionally appraise your property, which is sufficient for most lending institutions. And that appraisal is going to give you a definite as to what the value of your home is. I will always take my time with you. In fact, most transitions take between 3 to 9 months. Most real estate transactions can happen within 30 days and typically goes up to 120 days. But before we're dealing with the real estate portion of what we do, we have to deal with the transition portion, the emotion, the physical issues, the family issues. Once we have that ready, then we can shift over to what's happening with the property. Then we can get into the transaction of real estate. There's 2 parts to my business. There's the real estate, the actual physical real estate portion, and then everything else. And what happens in everything else is family disputes. What happens with all my stuff? Where is it all going? What about my health issues, my doctor visits? All of that comes into play. You can imagine for a second, if you're dealing with your mother who has doctor's visits 3 times a week, gets very tired by 2 o'clock, can't take all the pressure of all of these people telling her what to do, and a typical realtor walks in and forces them into a listing. Well, that's great for the house. The sign is going to go up, but what happens after that? That sign is going to come down because it's not going to happen. So we prepare the client, we educate the client, and then we can list the client. We have to find out why the kids are bugging you. Are they pushing you to sell so that they can get the money? Are they pushing you to sell because they can't come and care for you? Or for various reasons. But it's not the kids that we're concerned about, it's you that we're concerned about. So once we start working, once the master is introduced, we will meet with the children or other family members and just come up with a plan as to what everybody's perspective is on this transition. Ultimately, it's your decision.